to visit. But I know there's no way because I know I can't learn the language of dialect from German, French, Italian, or Romansh. Well, Romansh is the fourth language. Switzerland is usually well known for its declaration of neutrality in the face of conflicts, as heard of or seen from history. Less known is their attracting tourists for their beautiful scenery, their delicious food, and their multiple activities, outdoor activities. It's home to many UN agencies and international organizations that made its home here due to its neutrality and has built good relations to most of the nations in Europe and in the Americas. First, I'll start by talking about the geography of the land, then the food, my favorite part, and then lastly, the activities over there as well. Now, let's begin with the geography. Switzerland is, as you all know, famed for its mountains and mountain ranges. It's split up into three regions: the Alps, the Central Plateau, and the Jura Mountains. The Alps and the Jura Mountains are two of their major mountain ranges across each other, split off by the Central Plateau. The Alps makes up 58%, the Central Plateau 38%, and the Jura only 11%, as stated by their website, Schweizerisch Eigenossenschaft, in the geography about facts and figures. It's more than just a scenic view. Some parts of the region has forests, woodland, and lakes grown upon former mountain pastures, also stated from the Schweizerisch Eigenossenschaft in 2023. It's basically kind of like a natural resource storage for ores, lumber, and water. Okay, the geography part was a bit hard. Now let's move on to my favorite part, the food. It's always the food. The Switzerland food culture is basically a mix of three cultures from their neighbors: Germany, France, and Italy. Their cuisine is usually made from fresh, locally sourced food, like dairy products such as cheese and chocolate, and plants such as grains and potatoes. The most famous of all, the national dish, is cheese fondue, as you know. The food staples are ingrained into their tradition and culture, and you can usually find any of those types of food within the common household. Cantons, basically the states in Switzerland, can make their own specialty dish depending on the countries closest to them. You can basically tell what kind of food they make based on their origins and listening to them. The food is still within the culture. It's basically just made unique. Lastly, the activities, mostly done by tourists, as expected. Activities use the landscape to their advantage, both passively and actively. Customs and traditions are passed down from the history of their past history of farming and living in the Alps, as stated in the tradition section of Schweizerisch Eigenossenschaft 2022. Some of them became sports, games, and festivals to have fun. An example of it is Schwingen, a folk wrestling tradition that is now a national sport. The area was also boasted by the tourism industry. They promoted the regions not just as sites, but as challenges for hikers to climb. Cities are also known as great destinations, as quoted by Thomas Cook, India Limited, no date, one of the most bucket list worthy destinations in the world. Okay, that's everything. Land, food, and the things you can do. Let's finish this up. I'm already over 4 minutes. Let's see. Switzerland is basically half the country is mountains. The food culture is a mix of German, French, and Italian influences. And And the mountains, they use the mountains to their advantage for activities and can make a tidy sum out of tourism. Switzerland has attracted tourist scenery, food, and activities. Not really thought as much. That's all.